This is the Machenike K500 B61, a 60% budget keyboard. Let's see if this is worth getting. Let's start first with the unboxing. Opening it up is the keyboard, then under is the manual, and it comes with some accessories and a Type-C cable. Let's check the specs. This is a 60% layout that has tri-mode connectivity. Comes with red, brown, and blue switches. Mine came with the red one, and has double shot keycaps that is shine through. It's an all plastic build which makes it pretty light, and the Type-C connector is on the left hand side. The bottom stores the 2.4 GHz USB dongle and the switch to configure your connectivity. It also has height adjustment. Diving deeper, this only supports 3-pin Optimal switches. It also has a plastic plate and costs around $30 or 1,600 pesos. Let's hear the stock sound test. Honestly, it's quite decent. The switches are okay. They're a bit scratchy, but that's what you would expect from these cheap switches. But overall would get the job done, and I don't hate it that much. What surprised me were the stabilizers. They're actually quite good. It's not rattly, which you would expect from this price point, and it's actually slightly pre-lubed. I actually like the design of this keyboard. It's quite minimalistic with a bit of branding on the sides, but overall, pretty pleasing to the eye. And I don't hate the color scheme of the keycaps. The RGB is also quite bright. This was very close to being quite decent for a budget keyboard. For the price, I would have liked it to have at least a steel plate, or at least they shouldn't have put clips on the plastic plate, which was very hard to take off since it could easily break. And it kinda ruins the modding perspective of this. But if you're not really planning on opening it up, you can still go for it. You can still change switches and keycaps. But regarding the switches, it's very limited to 3-pin Optimal switches like ACO or KTT, which are really affordable and great on a budget. Before we continue, I'll try modding this to see what's the potential of this cheap keyboard. This will pretty much be similar to my Liven K620 if you've seen one of my first videos. So let's open this up first, take off the keycaps and switches. It's pretty hard to take out the switches, so be careful when doing this. Then there are screws on the plastic plate. I wish this was at least a steel plate, but oh well. After that, you have to unclip the plate, which is kinda annoying. I actually broke mine. Then remove the PCB from the case. To start, some mods that I will do is case foam mod, since this is quite hollow to begin with. I'm just using some old EVA foam I had lying around. Then tape mod. Use some painter's tape here. I'm just gonna do at least 3 layers. Don't forget to poke holes for the standoffs. Then lastly is the PE foam mod. I'm just gonna use the one that it came with, and you can start assembling it back together. After I tried the finished mods, I actually removed the PE foam mod since it was a bit too mushy for me. To continue, for the switches, since this only support 3-pin Optimal switches, we only have a few options. You can choose any 3-pin switches from ACO or KTT. They make great budget switches. Today, I'll be using the trusted KTT Kang Whites. They're lubed with 205G0. For the keycaps, I'm using some KBD Fan Cement Grey keycaps. Don't mind the mismatched keys, I couldn't find the rest. Let's hear the modded sound test. Overall, it's a fairly decent keyboard for the price. I wouldn't really recommend it if you're planning on modding this, since there are better options like the Garuda GG68B, which I did a video on, or some Royal Clutch keyboards. But for people who aren't interested in those, this is still great since it's very light and has remote connectivity, very minimalistic, and gets the job done. Also, you can still change the switches and keycaps to customize it a little bit, and that's basically it. Let me know what you think.